In LO4 I discussed how cells divide up jobs within their cells using organelles. Now we're going to start learning the organelles and what their jobs are within cells. An organelle is simply a structure within a cell with a specific job. Organelle means little organs, so you've probably heard of the nucleus, the mitochondria. I know you learned about these things before, however you might not remember them, so we're going to go through them again. As we go through each organelle, you have a chart to fill in. You're going to draw it very simply. Tell me what its job is, if you find it in plant, animal cells, or both, and then I'm going to help you create an analogy to help you understand what the job of that organelle is that you should fill in as well. First, the plasma membrane. Its job is to regulate what goes in and out of a cell. It's simply a barrier. In the picture up at the top, it's represented by the outer blue portion here. And the picture at the bottom shows you a small piece of the plasma membrane if you could remove it and take a look at it. We'll go more into how the plasma membrane is set up in the next unit, but as for now you can just see what it looks like. Both types of cells, plant and animal cells, have a plasma membrane. And the analogy, it's like a doorman or a bouncer. Just like a bouncer would kick people out of a club or prevent certain people from getting in, that's exactly how the plasma membrane protects the cell. It allows some things in and other things not. Ribosomes. The job of a ribosome is to hook up amino acids into a chain, which makes a protein. We learned about the molecules of life in the last unit, and we talked about amino acids being put together to make a polypeptide, which I also called a protein. Both types of cells have these. Both plants and animals need to make proteins to support themselves. An analogy, a ribosome is like an assembly line. It's hooking together amino acid after amino acid after amino acid to make this protein chain. A ribosome simply looks like a little circle if you weren't sure how to draw it. Mitochondria looks like a little bean, and then inside, this is a cutaway, it has this folded shape. Its job is to convert glucose or sugar to ATP. ATP is energy that cells use. Both types of cells, plants and animals, have mitochondria, and what it's like a power plant. A power plant takes energy either from, so let's say coal, you burn the coal and it makes energy, or solar, or wind. It's taking something, in this case, mitochondria use glucose, to make energy that can be used, and for cells that's ATP. The nucleus, right in the center of the cell usually, or a little bit off to the side, pretty prominent. You can see here they're showing it inside of the cell here. The bottom picture shows a nucleus removed from the cell. The job of the nucleus is to store and protect genetic information, or DNA. And DNA, because it's the code for an organism, basically controls the cell in that sense. It's not a direct control, so it's not right to call the nucleus the brain. It's an indirect control. It has the instructions that get copied. Both types of cells, plant and animal, have a nucleus. This is like City Hall. City Hall has the records for the city, and people can come in and copy them and look at them and figure out how the city works from there. Same with the nucleus. The Golgi apparatus, sometimes you'll see it called the Golgi body, is what modifies proteins, so ribosomes will make them. Golgi apparatus will modify them and then package them and then send them out for shipment in these little bubbles. And both types of cells have it. It's like a packing plant, so think of a UPS, not the trucks, but the facility. Packages come in, they might have to repackage some things, and then they put them on the trucks to go out. That's like the Golgi apparatus. Cytoplasm. The job of the cytoplasm is to maintain internal pressure of the cell and allows organelles to suspend in the cell or kind of hang out. The top picture is just a very simple diagram of a cell. The nucleus, the cytoplasm, and the cell membrane. The bottom picture shows you with some other organelles hanging out in there where the cytoplasm is. It's the green. Both types of cells have cytoplasm, and the analogy, it's like packing peanuts. If you order something and you get it in a box, the packing peanuts help keep the box from getting squished, and they also allow whatever's inside the box to kind of hang there in the middle. Lastly, we have lysosomes and peroxisomes. These have enzymes inside them, so they're both kind of set up the same way here, that degrade or break down molecules and wastes. Peroxisomes are specifically for detox, so you have a lot of these in your liver. Only animal cells have lysosomes. Peroxisomes are found in both, plants and animals. Analogy, these are like recycling centers. In some, now we have more organelles we'll talk about in the next one, I'm going to show you a really cool site that will animate some of these features as we go, and so follow along. I'm going to look at an animal cell. As I highlight each part of the cell down here, it's going to show you where it is on the cell itself. So first we have the plasma membrane. That was the outside, it's like a doorman. And then I talked about ribosomes that hook together amino acids. Where do you think the ribosomes are in the cell? So take a look first before I click. There they are, now they are in blue. The mitochondria helps convert sugar into ATP. See where those are before I click. I'm going to click. There you go, they're the little beans. They're kind of dancing and wiggling around up there at the top. The nucleus, where's that? Right there in the center, it's what holds the DNA. Next, the Golgi Apparatus, where do you think that is? Can you find it? I'm going to click on it. And that is a stack of membranes that modifies and packages proteins. Cytoplasm should be pretty simple. That's what fills all the space. It is now highlighted red. And then lysosomes and peroxisomes are the highlighted purple. I'm going to go back so you can see there, right here, right here, right here. And those help degrade and clean up molecules within the cell. Your assignment is to begin a drawing of a cell, and you're going to continue on with the next video. So get a blank sheet of printer paper, nothing with lines, please. Decide if you're drawing a plant or an animal cell. Animal cells are going to be round, whereas plant cells are more rectangular or square-shaped. Make a cell the size of the page, so fill up your page with this cell. Draw in the organelles from U3LO5 that we just talked about. Location of the organelle and size must be accurate, so use diagrams. Either use your online textbook if you go to Google and search CK12 biology cell diagram. The first link that comes up should say like prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells read blah blah blah. Click on that one, there's a diagram in there. Or just search the internet for pictures. Once you do that, draw in your pictures, label the organelles as you go, and remember, don't plunk every single organelle in there, because if you draw a plant cell, there's certain things that are going to be missing from that cell, so be careful. Color in your cell neatly, but again, you're going to be drawing in some more organelles, so you might want to save the coloring till last, and then you'll be able to finish up this diagram after part 2. I really suggest that you do this first before moving on to video 2 to help sink in this information, and then combine it all later.